What is up, guys? How's it going? So today we're going to be continuing the series and we're going to go back to parsing a class declaration. So I remember before my video talking about unit testing, we were kind of talking about the interface block and everything that it had in it. So today we're going to talk about alias declarations. This is going to be a pretty quick video, so I'm just going to kind of run through it. So as I said before, you guys are going to want to put this in both things. So I've already taught you guys how to create your initial code for an interface as well as create the same code for the class. It's literally just a copy paste. And I mentioned that you want to put in your module declaration. You want to put an error here as well as support nesting interfaces. So this is going to be another thing that you're going to want to put. So you're going to want to put is alias declaration in both the interface block. Then I'm going to do a search for parse class block. And if we go into class block, we can see that aliases are also put in here as well. So just make sure you do that. Also remember, of course, put it in the parse all function as well too. That way, in case you run into parsing an alias at a very weird spot that's unexpected, you can handle it accordingly. So I guess we can just kind of start from here. This isn't the normal function that we start from, but that's fine. So whenever you're parsing an alias declaration, it's pretty simple. You just want to make sure, of course, create your is function. You pass in the token and you want to check to see if it's an alias. The format for this is going to be as follows. So let's actually go up to my grammar sheet. Um, if we do a search for alias declaration, we can see here's the formatting for aliases. So you have the keyword alias, which is why we saw, where is it at? Parser. That's why we have this is keyword or this is function here. Then we want to parse a utype and we want to rename this utype as an identifier. Now, one important thing I want to mention when it comes to creating your grammar, you want to kind of do things like you want to have, of course, a logic and reasoning behind why the grammar is actually looking the way it looks, but you also want to kind of think, I don't know if ergonomically is the right word, but you just want to be careful with how you what you allow the user to do. Now, it's a lot harder to do this on the side of the parser because you haven't really created any concrete rules for the backend. But effectively, what I'm trying to say is a simple statement like this can be extremely powerful, but it can also cause you a shit ton of headaches on the backend side if you don't have a good type system put in place for you types. So whenever you're creating your language and you're kind of building your grammar, just make sure that you have an excellent type system and it'll allow you to create these pretty unique but powerful language features. And I don't want to talk too much about kind of what I mean by that. I'm just kind of putting it out there as something you want to think about as you're building your language. Just make sure that you're being very critical in your grammar because it's probably going to bite you in the butt later on if you're not doing it methodically. So we've kind of pretty much, I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys already know how this is going to look anyway. So if I go back to parse class block and I find alias here, when we go into alias declaration, this is probably going to be the absolutely easiest one to go over. And this is, to be honest, the calm before the storm because after this, it gets exponentially more difficult in terms of parsing and trying to figure things out. So enjoy this episode while it lasts. So the first thing, of course, you want to do is create a branch. So you want to create your AST alias declaration. And you want to have your access types. And this is pretty customary. You know what this does. We just check our access types. We parse them and handle them that way. Oops. And of course, once you do that, then you want to parse a utype. So once you parse your utype, you want to parse as. You don't need to add this token. You parse an identifier, and then you parse the semicolon. So that's pretty much it for parsing an alias declaration. Hopefully that was pretty straightforward. If you guys have any questions, as usual, definitely put them in the comment section below. Like I said, things are going to start to get really difficult from here on out because we're going to start to process statements. We're also going to start processing expressions. and expressions are really complicated, so I might have to create a much more long-winded video for that one, but I'll see. But definitely look out for that video on Friday. I'll try to figure out the next best thing that I can show you guys, and we can just kind of go from there. So that's it for today. As per usual, I'm going to go over to my GitHub repository. If you guys would love to support and help out the channel, definitely head over to my GitHub repository at androiddevcd/sharp. And when you get over there, definitely watch, start, and fork the repository. This gives the language a ton more visibility and lets other developers know that it exists. Also, if you'd want to keep a little bit more up to date with the day-to-day goings of the actual language, definitely head over to the remastered branch. This is usually where I do majority of my development as I'm building on the language, and I update it pretty frequently as well. You can check out the commits. I typically write very extensive commits explaining tons of information regarding all the different things that I've added inside of the commit. And of course, you can always check the code that I've changed in each commit as well. And also, if you guys are a bit more interested in learning a bit more about the language in terms of stuff that I've done in the past or maybe stuff that I'm looking to add into the future, you can head over to my docs folder. And in here, you can basically look for two main files. So you can check out the change list file, and that's going to contain everything that I've done in the past to previous versions of the language. And then you can check out the roadmap file, which is everything that I've either added to the language and finished or things that I'm looking to add into the future as the language evolves. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe if you guys like what you saw and you want to see more. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.